Around 46 years ago, I used to tell the story of me in a bar in the town of Esbjerg in Denmark, playing darts with an Eskimo.
Mm.
I can't tell that story like that anymore because of political correctness. So I have to tell it another way. So the visit to the bar happened. The darts game occurred, but my opponent is now an Inuit.
Yes.
Which is a name given to indigenous people of all types, a little like calling a native tribe here in Brazil indigenous instead of calling them Indians.
Hmm.
They prefer to be called Indians.
Yeah.
It sort of removes their identity, in my opinion, because this Inuit is a blanket term,
Yes.
and it sort of removes in Greenland, where we're going to be going with this, there are Eskimos and there are various people tribes. They're very tribal.
Mm.
I didn't know this until I looked into it. And Inuit, it just covers the whole lot.
Mm.
So I bring this up, like I said, to show that the modern world was not so caring for these indigenous or native-born types in the past. In one of our groups that you and I partake, that you know about, someone, I shall not name who, posted a meme of Keir Starmer saying, in defense of the US not acquiring Greenland, he said, Greenland belongs to Greenlanders. And I replied that when Starmer said Greenlanders, he meant a political class. And when he said Greenland, he meant Denmark. You see, just as the Pilgrims landed in the Americas and took over from the Native Americans by hook or by crook, American history tells us how, as did Denmark to a lesser extent, as it didn't stick a flag in the ground and declare Greenland Denmark. However, it did have its dark moments, and pretty recently too. To reduce the indigenous population, Inuits, Denmark began sterilizing the women. Between 1960 and 1991, the women were forced to have contraception and were given, this contraception was given to hundreds of Greenlandic women. Between 66 and 70, over 4,500 women had intrauterine devices implanted in them, so they couldn't have children. These tactics were done to keep families small, even going so far as to removing children from their families and sent to Denmark to be re-educated by Danish families. And also they made the Greenlanders take parenting tests to try and break up existing families. Only in August of last year did the Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, said in a written statement, we cannot change what has happened in the past, but we can take responsibility. Therefore, on behalf of Denmark, I apologise. Oh, well, that's all right then.
Yep.
Is this another reason why Denmark does not want the US to own Greenland? I ask myself. If the Greenlanders, Inuits, became American, there would be prosecutions by the truckload flying into the courts. Yes, of course they should. And that's not even the compensation claims which will be sent in the next convoy. Of course they can. Oh yeah, it's recent 70s.
Yeah, people alive still. Yeah.
There has to be a reason why Denmark is defending Greenland so much. It can't be the mineral deposits, as they would have been mining already. Could it be their stealth approach to genocide?
Mm.
One time.
Yes.
Like
Well,
a boiled wheat. It's like it's one to suck on for a while.
yes. I mean, yes, I saw all this, and it's it, unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, looking at recent history I know about as well. Around about the same times, Australia, this was happening with the Aboriginals. Also, I believe um, the Indians in North America. In again, the women. I mean, it was featured in a drama TV recently called Yellowstone, where the uh, the Indians women were being, if they had an abortion, they were being sterilized as well. I don't know how true it is. I never checked it out, but normally they're quite accurate on these things now. I mean, yeah, it's not a woke thing, but it was, yeah, highlighting history. Um, and that's just name one place I know with English speaking. Other places with other languages or other countries did the same. Um, it's I must admit, I didn't think of this angle. Yes, it could be that as well. A bit of fear um, from, well, authorities in Europe. I mean, yeah, the idea of the EU is that we're all in it together. Yeah, everyone feels the everyone feels the same pain. Um, it's a yes, I read that, and I did know a bit about it. Like I said, knew about the name change to Inuits and things like this. And yes, I tend to dislike this sometimes because I never thought Eskimo was a particularly derogatory term for anyone.
It means the term Eskimo means eater of raw meat,
Mm.
which I don't think is very derogatory.
No, no. I mean,
And there are some tribes,
mm,
I call them tribes, some communities or
yeah,
tribes
communities now, yeah.
that prefer to be called Eskimo.
Mm,
And the guy I played darts with, which I
yeah,
won by the way,
yeah,
which is why I told the story.
yeah,
He was an Eskimo, and he preferred to be called an Eskimo. He was working on the fishing boats.
yeah.
He,
He understood things, and yeah. I mean, you could be offended by anything. I mean, this is what we're finding in today's world. I mean, you and I are called gringos here. I know it's a slightly different thing. We're integrated, or we come here. Um, you and I means green go, apparently, if we actually believe the term. Yeah, go away. Yeah, but it's a term that's stuck in South America. Um, I don't get offended by it. I've been told I should be offended by it by more than one person, which worries me a bit. You know, how can you tell me what I should be offended by and not offended by? Um, it is a um really yes. Now, when we're coming back to the whole Greenland issue, I mean, yes, there's a lots of arguments on both sides. Okay. Ultimately, I don't believe it should be bureaucrats who decide, changing the focus a little bit on this, who who um who owns Greenland or who has custody of Greenland or um it should be the people that live there. I think they should have a right. Um, if the US administration wants to make an offer to the people of Greenland, including the Eskimos or Inuits, they should be entitled to consider it.
well, the Inuits
Yeah.
in Greenland,
Mm,
uh, the way the population worked out
mm,
over the I checked the population growth
mm,
over over the last 50 years
mm,
when I was doing my research about this thing about them sterilizing the women,
mm,
and the population climbed,
mm,
which was going against this story
yeah.
that I'm trying to tell now.
Mm,
Then I worked out, I had to break it down, and the population rose quite sharply
mm,
because of the invasion of Danes,
mm.
of the Danish people.
Yeah.
So basically, um, who they're they're Danish. They are not Greenlanders.
Mm,
Although the Danish people that went there in the 50s and
mm,
the 60s, of
mm.
course, had children there.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm sure they even mingled with the Inuits, and
Mm.
there are like what I'd ignorantly call a half caste.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's better, but yeah. Mixed ethnicity, I believe, is the correct
Mixed
term.
ethnic,
Yeah.
okay,
Um,
whatever.
yeah.
So, you know,
Well, I mean, if you go back far enough in the history, okay, the Vikings did make it right way across. They went Iceland and they went to Greenland, as well as Canada,
mm,
Newfoundland in Canada. Um, Unfortunately, the land, even for the Vikings of Greenland, was a bit too hostile, not ideal farming community. Um, but they got there, they tried, and they say they died out. Okay, there was a drama series on TV a while ago that said they had a civil war amongst themselves and things, but none of us really know. It was a hostile terrain for them. Um, they went there, they might have gone back on the boats and yeah, said, oh well, we'll stop at Iceland or yeah, because they didn't stay in Canada that long either. Because I think they had a few problems with the with the local Indians there, the Inuits there in Canada. Um, so um, it's a yeah, okay. How far back do you go in history? But again, um, human history is all about been about one group of people, if you like, succeeding over another group of people. If you look at the story of
yes,
South
yes,
America and in the Incas taken
yeah,
out quite brutally sometimes.
of course,
Even the Spanish knew the stories of the conquistadors, and they were cringing for
yeah, yeah.
some of it. And yeah, so um, it's a. I'm afraid it's very much a human story, and probably now at a time of more humane times. The American administration is making waves of saying, well, we can offer you protection and everything else. We can do it quite humanely. Um, it's not the first time that Denmark has sold territory to the US. And I forgot what the island was, but yeah, they sold an island some years ago. Um, Only because they couldn't defend it, and it could have ended up with German occupation. Um,
Well, it isn't the Greenlanders
yeah,
who are against the idea of Trump. Of
mm.
course, it's the Danish government,
Well,
and you know what politicians are like.
yeah, well, it's about power. I mean, it could be a Puerto Rican type agreement, um, where in Puerto Rico they have a sort of semi um, um, if you like, yeah, they I think they have their own government at least, possibly a
Yeah,
bit like Scotland and Wales, for all I know, and but they're entitled to live and work in the US, the semi-autonomous country, without any questions, provided they can prove they're Puerto Rican and not some other another Latin American country. I think that gets tried quite a lot as well. I don't know. I've heard. I don't know. And maybe agreement like that. Yeah, the Greenlanders could get some sort of green card or entitlement to be American.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Maybe even allow them to still be European, those that want it. So maybe have American first, and they can apply for a European citizenship as well if they particularly want it. I don't know. I don't
Don't
know
know,
how.
I don't know if Greenland is part of the EU.
Well, by it being part of Denmark, isn't it?
Well, because it isn't part of Denmark. It's
Yeah.
Denmark decided to.
So you're telling me they're already semi-autonomous anyway?
Yeah, yeah, and that's a great problem.
Yeah,
That is what the problem lies.
yeah. I mean, I mean, I mean, to be quite honest, most of us didn't realise what the relationship was between, yeah, Greenland and Denmark until this latest thing came up. Um, we
And I
knew,
and I just found out about the sterilization of women
yeah.
trying to cull the herd by Denmark.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's in my lifetime. Well, certainly your
I was
lifetime. Yeah, our lifetime. Yeah. Given there's been a deliberate move across Western world to to decrease the surplus population, as it were, anyway, or perceived surplus population. We're now in so much of decline now because, yeah, believe it or not, you going forward, you still need people to breed with each other to make other people. And yeah, I don't know how anyone in the 1950s and 60s couldn't work out the arithmetic on that, but there we go.
Well, I don't know why they didn't just, they go seal culling
mm,
up in Greenland and just, use the clubs and the boots to kill the seals.
yeah.
I'm surprised the Danish didn't take up that sort of tactic.
Mm.
Be
I'm
like
surprised.
the Americans.
I meant, yeah, well, yeah. I wouldn't advocate the yes. I think that's that's got a bit surreal for me, mate. Yeah. It brings a whole new meaning to the term going clubbing tonight. But yeah, um, yeah, it's a um, again, yeah, interesting question. And now I didn't think of this, the possibility of compensation that if the US authorities decide to dig a bit deeper and all that's been acknowledged, there are still people that are possibly traumatized by it.
There was actually, because I didn't dive too deep into the
Mm,
article that I read,
mm,
but there is a lady who was really disgruntled because she didn't even know she had this intrauterine
mm,
device implanted when
yeah.
she was 18, and she didn't know what it was, and she was wondering in later life why she
Mm,
couldn't have a baby.
mm,
And then when she went to a gynecologist, they
yeah.
explained it to her.
Mm.
You got this contracted inside you.
That's up there with gender affirmation, in my opinion. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was that. No, I wouldn't.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
say it was
Mm. Well,
sterilization,
well, yeah.
forced sterilization,
Well, that's it. But you effectively prevent, yeah, you're changing the function of people. I mean, yeah, okay, I'll probably grabbers, but
eliminating a function of people. So
yeah, um,
why I say it was a stealth
mm,
type of genocide.
yeah. I mean, given that we live in a country that the Portuguese practiced the worst.
It's what the conspiracy theorists and there's never smoke without fire, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
About Bill Gates in Africa, when a woman goes to have a health
Mm,
treatment, she's
mm,
automatically sterilized to keep the numbers down.
mm. I mean, it's a yeah. I mean, who knows what's going on in the world? But it's like you say. I mean, the trouble is conspiracy theories. Um, the problem is we're now living in a time where we're finding out more and more the
Yeah.
conspiracy theories, if not entirely true, are not without some merit at some level.
Well, like I
Um,
said, there's no smoke without fire. In this case of the
yeah,
Greenlander people,
yeah,
it appears to be true because one lady was complaining about it,
mm,
and the Danish Prime Minister acknowledged it and apologized for it.
mm,
Didn't offer any recompense, but she's a politician.
yeah. Well, okay. How far back do you go? I mean, um,
So when it was from the 50s,
mm, yeah. Well, I think the general view is
we're not talking slavery here.
no.
Oh, we're going back hundreds of years,
Yeah, we're
right?
talking, as I
Oh,
said, your living, well, almost your living memory. Yeah, yeah,
and and why only until the Alzheimer sets in, sir.
yeah,
Uh, but we're not talking about swathes and swathes of
yeah,
people
yeah.
just because of the skin color. We're
Mm,
talking about a limited number of
mm,
people, around about 30,000 people, which was the population when they started to do these things.
mm,
Yeah, the population in the 50s was about 30,000 people,
mm,
ballooned to 50,000
yeah,
and 70,000 over the period of about 20 years.
mm,
But that, like I said, was the Danish people invading the space.
yeah, yeah. So it was a yeah. It's like I said. I mean, human history is um full of wrongdoing, to put it
Yep.
bluntly. Um, I mean, slavery we know was wrong, and we accept that now. At the time, the thinking was right. I mean, when we start talking about modern people thinking that way, given it was just after the Second World War, where complete, I mean, that was Nazi ideal, sterilization of those you considered undesirable, or the elimination of. I mean, whereas to taking the children away, that was done in Australia, the Aboriginal families, where they were put up for adoption with, yeah, non-Aboriginal families, which again was wrong, totally wrong. Again, I think things were happening in North America. I'm not sure in Canada, but certainly in I believe in the US.